Hi everyone, welcome back. This is podcast 9 of the Phanatics new podcast. We are super excited. We have a special guest, Shannon, for this episode. So, Shannon, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hi, guys. My name is Shannon. Thank you to the Fanatics for having me on this week. So I'm a Philadelphia native, born and raised in Delco, right outside the city. So lifelong Phillies fan, Eagles fan, Sixers fan, Flyers fan. I went to Indiana University for college, majored in sport management and business. Came back to the area, started working in sport media with NFL films mainly during the football season, as well as starting to kind of begin journalism, writing, fan contributor articles for the Phillies and the Eagles as well. So yeah, that's where I'm at now. I've also started a Phillies Instagram fan page, which is how connected with the Fanatics, called Phillies with Finegan. Just giving updates, personal takes on the team, and using it as a platform to kind of promote my articles. But yeah,
Awesome. Yeah, I'm also a little fun fact. I just graduated on Saturday, but I'm a sport management major as well.
congrats.
Thank you. So yeah, I have a little bit of that in common.
Mhm.
But yeah,
I
we're
got
super
kicked out of
excited to have
school.
you. What'd you say?
I got kicked out of school.
Oh, that's okay. We won't talk about that. That's okay.
It
We're super
happens.
excited to have you on. We did prepare some questions for you.
Cool.
So I guess we're just going to get started with that.
Yeah.
Our first question was, what made you start your account on Instagram?
Mainly it was to promote the articles that I started writing. Those articles are mainly just for fun. They're fan contributor articles where on the site called that it's called fansided.com, but the Philly specific one is That Ball's Out of Here. So yeah, I just wanted to create a little more traction in what I was writing, and I felt like promoting it on my regular Instagram was getting a little redundant, and a lot of like my followers, are college friends, they're not even from the Philadelphia area. I'm like they don't care about this.
Right.
And so I wanted to kind of create a page that was going to just be advertise for like Phillies fans in the Philadelphia community. And then also I can just use it as a place to like talk about the games and like all my feelings toward the Phillies. I go to a lot of games. I like to kind of like post pictures of that. So it's just like an outlet for me to kind of like connect to Phillies fans and not feel like I'm annoying people that don't care about baseball.
Right. Get away from like your personal page. That's super cool.
Yeah.
I don't know who followed who first. I don't know who found who first, but I know we've
Yeah.
liked your page since we've started ours. So
Yeah. I actually
definitely.
remember, I think I followed your guys' Facebook page for a while because I remember when you were looking for, I think when you brought Madison on, when you were looking for a third podcaster, I remember seeing that post. So I was very excited to have you guys reach out to me because I have known about you for a little bit.
Awesome. Love to hear that.
Mhm.
We had like 500 plus people reach out. So
Nice.
if you message me, I didn't notice it, and I'm sorry.
No, that is totally
I
How
fine.
think I
how
was
he
the
I think
last
I
one.
did.
I was probably latest. I was probably
yeah
the latest
Yeah,
to the party
No, that's funny. I
somehow.
think I did message, but there was I understood. There was a lot of comments. So
yeah how Nick narrowed it down to me and Zach beats me. Because I mean
oh, nice.
the comments on these posts were
Yeah.
ridiculous. Just to try to
Yeah.
sort that out. So I
Who
get it.
wouldn't want to be on a Phillies
Oh
podcast?
yeah, true, true.
there was a lot of phone calls and a lot of talking
Wow.
to people. Madison somehow got by without getting a phone call. I don't know. She's
Beats
here,
me. I don't know.
Right.
but
Right.
All right, let's see. You kind of went into this. How long have you had your account?
Yeah, it's only been for like about a month now, so super new.
Hmm.
Um, been like trying to learn more about like Canva and like graphic design is something that I'm beginning to like start to get into and really enjoy. So making like Phillies related like graphic design content like that.
Yeah,
So definitely still growing, but it's
yeah.
fun.
I've gotten the boys into Canva. They
It's
mess
great.
around with it all
I
day
still don't
long.
know what I'm doing.
Jeez, jeez.
No, it's very fun. I'm spending a lot of screen time on Canva
Yeah,
recently.
I'd like to know what mine is by now.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
wonder.
want
mine's
to
definitely
play
gone up.
That's something to look into. I wonder.
I'm one of those people that get upset when Madison does something because then I go, I know I can do it too. So then I'm sitting there trying to figure out how to do it, and I can't. It's a whole thing.
No, you can.
It's hard. You get used to it, but it's hard. All right, Phillies related question: who is your favorite player?
currently it's Bryce Harper. I mean,
Love it.
he's just the GOAT, and he's always going to come in clutch. And I just love everything about him. I love the way that he embraced the city. I remember hating him when he was like 19 years old on the Nationals. I was like sitting there with my dad, and we were like, he's so cocky. Like, that guy sucks. So I remember hating him, which makes me like love him even more now. The way he was like totally able to win everybody's hearts over, like come from DC and just like basically say like he's shit on DC, like he loves Philly. Like it's
Right.
I love him. So, but growing up, like with that '08 team, I think Ryan Howard is my like OG favorite, with like Shane Victorino like right behind him as second. But
Love it.
yeah,
Shane Victorino. I like that one. Nothing. I'm not used to hearing people say Shane Victorino. I said I like that one. It's a good
flying
pick.
Hawaiian.
Yeah, good answer. I like it. How do you feel about this season?
I'm feeling great. I mean, it's what our best start in franchise history in a long time. And I did not expect to be at the top of the whole MLB. Like that is still crazy. Every time we win, we still have the best record in the league. So yeah, I think a lot of people came into this year being like, okay, we know like we can play 500 ball and we can make it to the playoffs and make stuff happen, but like, can we actually compete for the NL East like title? Can we actually like compete with the Braves? And we are. So that's very exciting.
For sure.
That was kind of one of my like hot takes in the beginning too. I said we should probably win the NL East, and
Yeah.
I thought we were going to lead it from the opening series because we played the Braves right away. And
Yeah.
I mean, it's first two series, whatever, and now it's happening. So it's kind of like a pinch me moment. It hasn't happened in a while, so I agree with that a lot.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, it's really hard to understand. I'm still trying to comprehend it because like usually I'm sitting there going, okay, well, we'll be in it at the end.
Yeah.
But right now my brain's going, I want to be the best team in baseball until October and then after. So I'm trying to process it still. I'm not used to it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like this weird, I don't know. I don't even know how to explain it. Zach said it best earlier, I think, when we were talking. I don't get it. So
we're definitely used to playing from behind and catching up.
Yeah.
So to kind of just try to sustain this high, something to be tricky. Obviously, a really long season, like month by month. We're only like in the third month, so it's gonna be hard. But like, it's just a new challenge. Instead of like playing from behind, it's like keeping that lead all the way until September and October. So it's definitely just it's better, but it's a whole different type of like problem to figure out.
For sure.
Yeah, it's bringing out the bench guys. They're all coming out and really embracing the roles and they're not struggling. So that's another nice thing to see.
Yeah, that's a big storyline of this season as well.
Definitely. Let's see. Have you been to any games this season?
I have. I've probably been to about 4. I went to opening day, and then I went to the next game too. So I went to 2 in opening weekend, which was fun, and I think I've been to 2 more since then. So yeah, I like to go a lot. I don't always get my hands on tickets, but whenever I do, I like to go. So I'm excited. I don't know when my next game will be, but I'm excited for that.
Yeah, I know. Zach, how many have you been to? 1 or 2?
I've only been to 1. I'll be. My next one is in June.
Yeah, I was gonna say you got tickets, right?
Nice.
Yeah. And Nick's going too.
Yeah, but Nick's not going until August.
Yeah, he's still going.
Nick doesn't live nearby. So.
I'm actually going to Chicago over 4th of July weekend, and I will be going to Wrigley Field to watch Cubs versus Phillies on 4th of July.
That sounds fun.
That's fun.
Yes. I have a lot of college friends in Chicago, so I always try to make it back there. And last time I was there, I was like, 4th of July would be like a fun time to come. And I just checked the Philly schedule, and I was like, oh, okay. So I'm definitely coming.
That's awesome.
They'll be here.
That's a great weekend to go to.
Yeah.
Super cool. Yeah, I think I was at, how many have I been to? 1?
2?
2, I think. Yeah.
Yep, 2.
Yeah.
You've been to the most out of all of us. Well, besides Shannon, but.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like there's no more like $20 nosebleeds. They're creeping up, and like the stadium's filling up every day, so it's getting a little more challenging.
Yeah, and I was talking to my friend about this the other day. So like I don't want to buy a $40 nosebleed seat because someone else can buy that ticket. I'd rather just sit at home and watch the game,
Right.
and I'm not going to sit in
Yeah.
the nosebleed seat. I'm going to walk around, and I'd rather someone else have the ticket.
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, let's see. We have. How did you get into writing?
It's just writing has always been something I enjoyed and I felt like I was good at in school. I never pursued it like outside of like English class. Like never in college or anything. It was always like my strongest subject and I do enjoy the act of writing. So I think like this past year I just really wanted to like do something like extra like on my own time that was like outside of work. And was thinking about like how to like start a blog, like thinking
Mm.
along that lines. And then I was on LinkedIn and I just saw like the fan sided job opportunity to be like a fan contributor is what they call them. And so I thought that would be a perfect opportunity to kind of get my feet wet and like writing in like an official capacity, like with a timeline and like having my name out there. So I really like now having like content attached to my name. So to see kind of where it goes from then. But yeah, just kind of just like randomly just like wanted to get into it this year. But I have always really enjoyed writing.
Super
I have a
cool.
kind of side question for it.
Yeah.
Where do you you find all your stuff for it? Is it just what you hear, or are you researching stuff? Like how long does that take to actually put something into,
It's
contributing?
definitely research, but it's not too in depth. Like again, like this website, like they're not hiring like actual journalists. Everyone knows just kind of like fans that, have ability to write. And so it's a lot of research. Not too much though, but just like looking at like resources like ESPN and like NBC and like kind of like taking what's in those articles, but like obviously putting your own like spin and your opinion into it. But the editor, he's great. He will like pass on any like pertinent information. So he's really helpful. But just like basic like articles that you can like grab stuff from.
Cool.
Yeah.
How like often do you do that?
I probably do maybe like around like average like 3 a month.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm like not there's some people that do a lot more and I could if I like really like put the pedal to the metal and like wrote a lot more, but sometimes I get a little lazy with it because it's not like really for money or anything. I get like $1 per 1,000 views. So that's another reason why I wanted to like set up like an Instagram and see if I could promote it a little more to
Makes
get some
sense.
clicks.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's not like for money or anything, which could definitely be more of like a motivating factor. But I knew that going in. But so yeah, I probably get out like average like 3 a month, maybe like 4 or 5 a month. But so
Cool.
3. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, I was reading some of your Eagles articles.
Yeah.
So I was reading some of those last night.
Nice. Thank you.
Yeah, being the only real football fan here, so so I was reading some. Madison is now that we're talking about it. Madison is a Cowboys fan.
I thought
Nick,
that.
what
Damn.
that says we don't bring
I
it
didn't
up?
bring it up.
Damn.
I didn't bring
Nick
it
was
up.
always on my side with
The
this.
one time
I know.
I do not bring it up.
Nick, I'll remember this.
Okay, but I had to because there's somebody here who's actually an Eagles fan. So
Dang,
Whatever. I'll remember this, Nick.
I can't really defend you here. I'm sorry.
It's fine, Zach. Listen, it's understandable. Anything else, but I get it with the Cowboys.
It must be hard living in this area as a Cowboys fan.
It
I must
is.
say.
But you know what? I defend it with my love for the Phillies. I like the Flyers.
She hides herself well.
Yeah, I do. I'm not die-hard Cowboys, but
Yeah.
that's my team. Yeah. Let's see. How about what was your favorite memory as a Phillies fan?
So many good ones recently. I probably have to say in 4th grade, I was at the 2008 World Series Game 5.
Aww.
So that probably has to trump it all, but I was in 4th grade. So the recent World Series memories are amazing. I mean, the 2022 run just a couple years ago, obviously it didn't end well, but I was so deep into it. Like, and I was very, very fortunate to be able to go to multiple playoff games, including the Bat Slam game and a few others. So, and I'd say Reese's Bat Slam game was to this day, the most electric playoff baseball game I've been to. I went to a few others. Like I went to some of like the Padres series after that. I went to a few last year, and I also that same year I went to the Eagles 49ers NFC Championship clinching game. Bat Slam game trumps all of that. Was way more electric, and like it was just the first like game where we were like, oh my god, like we're gonna beat the Braves. Like it was, we didn't even know what to like do with ourselves. So that game was like the most
I
electric
get that.
game.
I left work. I was like, I got to go home.
Yeah.
I literally said, I
It
can't
was
be here
real
right
at
now.
that moment. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that was the loudest the fans like were. It was great.
That's awesome.
I'm sure the Bryce Harper home run to get us to the World Series, that I wasn't there for that, but that
really
if
cool.
I was there, that probably would have trumped it.
Yeah. I mean, that's an experience for sure.
Yeah, I never forget where I was during that, but
Yeah.
unfortunately, I was not at the stadium.
Right. I think we just have one more question. What is one move you think the Phillies should make or should have made?
Okay, so I will say I was definitely a little critical on the quiet off season that we had this year. But looking back, I think everything turned out totally fine. I think, you know, we sticking with the starting pitchers that we have was a great idea. So I would just say in the near future, I think that we should get like a star outfielder like Juan Soto, Jazz Chisholm, Trout. I think that would be like the one move I would like the Phillies to make is like a bigger bat in the outfield, a bigger like star outfielder.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I'm not against replacing Rojas, as most people know. So.
Oh, we know.
Yeah, I mean, Rojas. I think Nick Castellanos is great, amazing too. For either of those three names I mentioned, I would not be opposed to trading him. I don't know if that's a hot take or not, but
it would be for me, but not for everyone else.
It is for Nick.
For Nick, yes. Nick would
But see, like if you go get one of those guys, I mean, Juan Soto, you're probably going to want to get him at the end of the season when he's a free agent because you're not going to want to have that 4 month rental or whatever it is at that point.
Yeah.
But like a guy like Trout at the beginning of the season, I was a big guy, you know, fishing for Trout, you know. So would he have stayed healthy in Philly if we would have got him?
No,
season, you know?
Probably not because he's way too injury prone. But yeah, I mean, I like guys like. Sorry, you go.
I don't like Jazz Chisholm, so I'm sorry. That's all I got to say about that one.
I respect it. I do like his game, but I can see it. So yeah.
I brought it up when I was like listing people that the Marlins should trade, and Zach was immediately like, "Nope."
I don't think he fits into the clubhouse vibe.
He probably doesn't.
I could see that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I could see him not fitting in with like the whole Phillies vibe.
Yeah,
that's a good.
Yeah, I might be the guy in the stadium that's clapping when he strikes out if he's in a Phillies uniform. I'm sorry. I don't know. No. I do those things.
All right. Yeah. Does anyone have any other questions for Shannon? I think that was it, right?
Well, I think I did originally, but I don't remember what I was going
to
say. So I think we'll probably just just move on. Yeah, if it comes up, you're here, so I'll bring it up. So. All right, Zach, do you want to start us off?
So what's up next? The recap? Or the
we're not doing
Phillies,
a recap.
Right?
We're not doing Phillies.
Too much to go over.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Unless we're doing bad, there's not much to go over, right?
Right.
Yep.
Agreed. We won baseball games. All right. So the state of the Phillies. I mean, the first thing that I've come to really realize is Edmundo Sosa is a really good baseball player. Defensively, when we got him, that's what we wanted for him, and that we kind of made this discussion earlier in our podcast about Rojas. We just want him to be like an Edmundo Sosa, an elite defender, and he can step up and get some at bats, and he can come through. And that's kind of what Edmundo Sosa has done since Trey Turner's went down, and I've been extraordinarily pleased with how he's performed.
So I think I understand what you're talking about, like mostly like on a defensive aspect.
Mhm.
Is that what you're saying? Because
Yeah.
defensively,
He's an elite defender, and he can come in and he might get a double here or there and steal a base.
yeah, yeah. But there's another guy on the bench that I like a little bit more,
Well,
and he
now
hits
we
home
all do, I
runs,
think.
and his
I
name's
think we
Cody.
all do.
Are they calling
So
him the missile now or something?
no, no, that's not a good nickname. The one I came up with
Yeah,
is already
who
better.
came up with that?
I think that was T Mac.
McCarthy?
I don't know.
Yeah, like
I think
I
so.
don't, I don't.
I don't know
I
how.
don't know.
Yeah, I don't know how to feel.
Baby Rocket is so much better.
Oh yeah, I
I
like
think he
that.
kind of wants to stem off from the Rocket. That was a whole different
I don't
trademark.
Mhm.
care what he wants
He
to do.
might get sued. Who knows?
Sued from his dad.
Yeah. Well, people get greedy.
No, I understand what you're saying. I mean, but I feel like it's a group effort picking up for Trey's absence, not just
Yeah.
Edmundo. Like the you brought it up a little bit earlier, how the bench had to really step up. I mean, you're not just losing a regular player; you're losing the guy who was probably the second best player on the team at that time, behind Baum, and you needed everybody to step up. And Cody and Mundo, even Rojas when he gets his random hit a week. These are exciting things, and so um, I personally think that Edmundo does start on probably a good amount of other teams. I think I've talked about that before. If he wasn't on our team, he would probably start on most teams. But I mean Trey and Stott and all those guys. But I don't know. What do you think, Shannon?
I do kind of agree with both of you guys. I mean, I think he has really stepped up big in lieu of Trey Turner's injury. Feels like he just seamlessly transitions into being an everyday starter really well. His stats since May 3rd when he went out are all really positive. He's gotten 2 stolen bases, so he kind of keeps up that like speedy runner. If he gets on, he's a threat on the base path, just like Trey Turner. He only has 1 error on the whole season. I think Trey, I mean, I'm not comparing the two, but I think Trey has a little more. But I do agree that Clemens is going to give him a little bit of his run for the money in the sense where they can have Clemens play second and move Stott to shortstop really easily. And if Clemens is going to keep up, like he's showing that he might be a better hitter just more consistently than Sosa. So that will definitely be interesting to kind of track. But I think Sosa's a great shortstop, great backup. Whenever he's in, I get excited. I feel like he just has the fire and the hustle that I like and that fits in really well with the Phillies. And like he just innately has that. Like he's always pumped up when he like gets a hit. And I just like I think that's really good for like the morale. So I enjoy him at shortstop, but I think Cody Clemens could definitely shake up that whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking this for a while about guys that we could have on a bench over the guys that actually started out on the team, like Cody Clemens, or I mean, even a guy like Whit Merrifield is not playing up to his potential either. So you can look at it and go, well, maybe Cody can just slide into one of those roles. Maybe Whit isn't. Whit, maybe he can't play that well anymore. Or he's just not a good bench player.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, just figuring out who fits, I guess.
Yeah, I feel
Yeah.
like Witt is definitely maybe like struggling with the only coming off the bench thing. Like he's used to being a starter. I know he really did want to like he knew he was going to be a bench player coming in, but really wanted to like try and like be better and show that he can be an everyday starter. So maybe he just doesn't have like the right mentality to be coming in off the bench all the time, whereas it seems like Sosa and Clemens, like they obviously they want to be an everyday starter, but they're going to take advantage of every opportunity they have coming off the bench. And it just seems like there's like a better like seamless effort going from the bench to being a starter. Maybe like it's a little bit more of a struggle for Merrifield.
I mean,
But
it's
then we
easier
get
for
into
some.
the.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, then we get into the whole thing about what the purpose is of that player, and there goes big brain Dave Dombrowski coming into the picture saying, hey, Whit Merrifield is probably just going to be a defensive player. He's
Hmm.
older in his career. He does hit. He can steal some bases, but That's not what he is anymore. We need him to be plus defensive, and that's kind of what he's done. How many errors has he had this year? I mean, left field and the outfield has kind of been a little bit of a struggle. You've seen some hits that got down where Marsh probably would have made the play, but I'm not really worried about his bat because everybody else is kind of doing that job for him, and that's kind of what this whole lineup is doing.
Agreed.
Yeah. Awesome. Madison, thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I'm. You guys stole the words out of my mouth. I mean, I think Sosa's definitely held his own. Could Clemens do better?
We'll find out.
We'll find out.
I mean, right now it's kind of like, how do you sit Clemens?
Yeah.
Because obviously after, the game-tying home run, they started him today, as they should. And then look what he did today, 2 RBI doubles. Like, he's staying hot. So I don't know how...
They let him protect Bohm. They put him right behind Bohm in the lineup, and that's a big thing because he's one of the best hitters in baseball right now. So that says something.
True. So true. So kind of don't see how you can take him out of the starting lineup as of right now. That would be interesting.
I think that would be a bad move, honestly. At this rate, the way he's playing, you should. Why take him out?
Yeah.
Well, the team has a history of replacing guys with guys that shouldn't be replaced, which we'll get into in a little bit with a question we have. But so let's start with positive. So Ranger, he's 8-0, and I said from the start of the season, this was one of my predictions, that Ranger's going to win Cy Young. So what did we think, guys?
I think there's maybe just one guy in his way.
That's his own teammate?
No, it's Shota.
Shota's pretty good. I like
Shota is Shotaing and doing some crazy things. I think he's just I think it might be like neck and neck for them all season if they can both stay hot and like be on their game. But man, I want Ranger to win it.
That would be pretty cool to have 2 guys that are not from the United States really competing at it for a while. Because I mean, there's always that matchup where there's someone that's dominant that's been here for 10 years that's in the conversation and some new guy. So now that'd be pretty cool to see.
Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't watched Shota pitch yet this year. That's probably a bad part on me. I'll probably have to check that one out. I know I've seen highlights and stuff. I saw him bow to get the ball. I thought that was pretty cool. But other than that, I haven't had a chance to watch as much baseball as I normally do, which is weird to me. So I really don't know. I watch a lot of Korean baseball, but that doesn't help Cy Young things. But Zach, where are you with this?
I'm fully aboard the train. I would love to see a Wheeler and Suarez, race to the finish. Like I said, I think Wheeler's going to be the MVP of the team somehow. Towards the end of the season, I think. But I could definitely see Ranger. I mean, he just doesn't care. The guy just goes, takes the ball, throws it, and if it's a strike, it's a ball, and he just keeps moving. So I think that's the right mentality to have as a pitcher. Not many have that. A lot of pitchers, wear it with them inning to inning, and he doesn't. He doesn't do it from pitch to pitch. So I think he's, in my mind right now, he's my betting favorite if I was betting money on it.
Yeah, it does seem like his like mentality of like just not caring is not like his mentality. We all know the I don't want to say lackadaisical, just chill. Like it seems like that type of like mentality could last longer throughout a season. Like that has the longevity, and I could see that really helping him in like staying hot all season and winning it. Madison, what were you gonna say?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's 8-0. That's in itself. It says it. Like he's deserved this. This he's in the running for it. Obviously, he deserves to be talked about, mentioned, regardless of who else is against him. I think he's definitely, if not one, if not two. And we'll see. I think Wheeler, he's a threat. But either way, I'd be happy to see either one of them.
Yeah, and if I can just say, like, if Suarez has a 1.37 ERA right now, and the only reason that he's not first is because Imanga has a 0.84, which is just crazy. So any other year, like, Suarez is number one and is the best, by far the best pitcher in the league. It's just kind of this year, like, Shota's here just doing like historic things. But like, if it wasn't for that, like, a 1.37 ERA is insane.
And Shota's been kind of like, he hasn't ran into the trouble that Suarez has in a couple of his starts, and even Suarez still gets the win. It's crazy. He still gives up 2 runs, and then we get the run support, and he wins. So that's why he's kind of still been right there with it. Any other year, he probably wouldn't. We wouldn't have this conversation if he showed up the whole time.
Yeah, and I will say, Ranger has much better whip. He is 0.76. He's first in the league when it comes to whip.
I read a stat. I'd have to find it, but it was like he's the first pitcher to win 8 straight games with under a 2 ERA and under a .99 whip or something like that since like 1976 or something. It was a stupid stat that I'd have to dig up, but it was wild.
Yeah, no, it is wild. It's so impressive to see. Like, the Ranger days are the best days
for sure.
Baseball.
I mean, the only thing that kind of slowed him down was the rain the other day. And other than that,
didn't slow Bryce Harper down hitting a bomb in the first inning.
That's for sure.
Rain in the eyes, but in the
yeah, and it definitely does seem like the hitters, like the team hits, I feel like, the best behind Ranger. And I don't know, like, if that means anything. Like, it's just kind of how it's been shaken out. But I feel like the team just has done the best job at backing up Ranger over Wheeler and Nola. Like, Wheeler and Nola definitely have some losses that are not their fault and have not happened with Suarez yet.
Yeah.
Wheeler doesn't get run support.
Yeah.
Sorry. Go ahead. You go.
I was just say, offense definitely performs when we see Wheeler or Ranger on the mound. You know, it's a shame that maybe Wheeler and Nola have some losses behind them that maybe aren't necessarily their faults.
I was a big one on that.
What'd you say?
Nola also puts himself.
I said I was a big one on that.
Yeah.
With the run support for Wheeler wasting his starts,
it's a shame, but yeah, it's just how the season's played out. So
I don't know. I feel like Nola puts himself in these situations. By giving up runs, right, Zach? You know those LSU
He's
guys,
also logged the most innings
just
in
not
baseball.
That good at baseball.
He's also logged the most innings in baseball, so obviously the home runs are going to happen. And when he does, look at his ERA. It's still right where it should be.
Yep.
It's not anything astronomical. He's consistent. We can go into this all night, Nick. We need a different podcast for this. I'm sorry, Shannon, you don't know this. I'm a big LSU fan. So anybody from down in the Bayou.
Well,
I was actually besides Ben Simmons.
Nice. Oh, thank you for saying that. I was actually I was glad that you guys brought up Aaron Nola, because I was gonna bring him up too, just because he can definitely get overshadowed by Wheeler and Suarez, but he is doing really well and he's going deep into games. And I did see an interesting video online recently, shout out Cherry Pinstripes, but this guy was making a case for Aaron Nola's Cy Young year this year, basically saying that he sees the trend of a lot of pitchers kind of like falling off in the dead of summer because the temperature going up, that it gets hotter and that's better temperature for hitters, but not for Aaron Nola because he's a Southern boy. And his OPS stays really high throughout like the dead of the summer. So they were just basically saying if he can keep that up and take advantage of that.
Interesting.
I'll give you one stat, Nick. One stat. He was 12-1 his final year of college, and his only loss, his ERA was right around 1. And his only loss, I think it was to UCLA in the College World Series. The guy has always been a winner, and he's just been so damn consistent. He gives you innings. He eats them up. He saves your bullpen. That's all you need from him. He's not your number one. You're not paying him ace money. He doesn't get $40 million. He doesn't get 30. What?
I'm not taking that part away from him. You know I like guys that can eat up innings. You know this. I'm just saying, I feel like he puts himself in certain issues And I also like to
Well,
make you mad. So,
yeah, well, he gives up a bomb and Bryce hits a 2-run bomb, so it's okay. It evens out.
Mhm.
yeah, you went to LSU.
And
Anyway,
Anywho,
Anyway.
um, I don't want to talk about the next question, so we're gonna skip and go to Taiwan.
okay.
Um, and Zach, you wrote this one, so why don't you read it off?
So I mean, he's what 18-6, I think, or 18-6 in his starts as a Philly. I think there's like 32 or 33 starts now, something like that. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
33 on his next start. But he has won ball games for us, and that's a big thing that we've all talked about is the run support that he's gotten, and some other pitchers haven't. But are we taking that kind of for granted that he's been proven? I mean, he's been here for 2 years now almost, and he's won almost 20 ball games for us.
I don't want to start with this one, so Shannon, why don't you start?
Are we talking about his injury or just him pitching in general?
Both as a whole. I mean, I didn't really bring that into it,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
that's a
that's
piggyback.
okay. I guess just about him, like those he has really good stats, so I can kind of just like can't really like he has good stats and he is winning games. I'd be interested to hear you guys take on like him versus like Turnbull. Like, what did you guys think that?
I think we all collectively agree on this one.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
just the money value that comes into play. I think
Okay,
that's what we all
that's what
agree
I
on.
thought too. So I'm I hope he can come back. It seems like the injury was just a bruised toe. Like he'll be back soon. But I did an article, NBC article said that it'll his next start is supposed to be I think Wednesday against the
Is it?
Rangers. So it's
And
Yeah.
still like
Turnbull pitched tonight, so maybe that he only pitched an inning, but that was kind of the
yeah.
big question going in.
Yeah, so I think it's still up in the air whether he'll make that start, but this article is saying that Thompson is saying it's leaning towards that he will make it. Um
So we get
which
4 innings from Walker.
yeah.
4 innings from Walker without a reliever to come in because
Right.
Turnbull pitched today. Well,
Yeah.
he'll be fine by then. I mean, just seeing how Spencer has been since going to the bullpen, it makes you question if he really should be in that role himself. Um, when he was doing so well as a starter,
Mhm.
I was looking forward to watching him pitch every time he played,
Mhm.
which is something I didn't expect I would be saying at all this year. He has a cool nickname. Big fan of nicknames. Red Bull, I like it. It's good
Okay.
stuff.
Yeah, it was like a reminder. Yeah. So
Uh, I mean, I understand what you're saying that Taiwan is we're winning the games that Taiwan plays in,
Mm-hmm.
but is he winning those games or is the lineup winning those games?
Mm-hmm. That's a fair point.
Or the Phillies lineup is so good, sometimes you could put out anybody and you could expect a similar result. I mean,
I
the
just
perfect example is today. I mean, there was three guys that had over 2 RBIs, and then Bohm had 5. I mean, these are just the lineup is what carries the team. So, is it Taiwan winning those 18 games he's won so far as a Philly, or is the Phillies winning those games for him? So,
All right. So I have a question. I'm sorry. Let's get off the Walker thing because I think we're all kind of
yeah,
shot
I'm
on
over
that
it.
one.
yeah, yeah.
But so Bohm's on pace for 142 RBIs right now at this point. Does that put him in the conversation of the topic we brought up a couple weeks ago of the 200 hit club for the Phillies? The last one to do it was Jimmy Rollins. If he hits 142 RBIs, he's on pace for it. Should he hit 200 hits? In my mind, that makes sense
I think that
because
makes
that
makes
was
sense
not
to
one that
me.
we really thought about.
yeah. I definitely would think so. He's
It
on
was
track. So.
it wasn't someone we brought up when we were talking about
Mm-mm.
it.
Right.
Um,
That's what I'm saying.
but
That's why I thought
at
about
that
it today.
time, we were talking about somebody who was actually hot. We were talking about how Marsh could be that guy, or
Hmm.
um, we all thought it was going to be Trey originally,
Right.
and then Trey came off to a slow start. Then Trey got hot, and then we were all like, maybe it will be Trey. So, and now we're obviously without Trey. But I mean, I think I've been bringing it up a lot that I think that this is the year that Alec Bohm shows the baseball player that we all thought he was going to be. I mean, even his home run today is what I've been waiting for him to do his whole career, just murder the baseball. So, I mean, it was. So I think it's so hard to say this because I could say right now, I think you're right. But what about in a couple weeks from now?
Mm-hmm.
What if he starts to slow down and then I'm going, well,
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's what baseball is. It's a lot of ups and downs.
Yeah.
But I mean, 58 hits on the season is a lot. I mean, Trey Turner still has the second most hits on the team.
Yeah, that's crazy, right?
Yeah. At 47. So, but I would like to lean towards yes, Bohm can get to 200. That'd be cool.
I think this season Bohm has shown. I mean, we all knew Bohm was a great baseball player, but I think this season, obviously, is not even comparable to previous seasons. So, yeah, I mean, I would like to say he's on track for it.
If I say no, does that make me a bad person? Does that make me?
No, but I want to know why.
Why? Because it's May, and I'm talking about someone hitting 200 hits. So I don't want to say yes or no. But I will say that I do think he's the player that I thought he should have been. I think his defense is the biggest improvement for him.
Mm-hmm.
All around, that's if I have to talk about Bohm, I'm going to talk about how underrated he is now at defense just because of how bad everyone thought he was. Yeah. I mean, he's made incredible plays, and do I want to see him hit 200 hits? Yes. Do I think that Trey Turner could come back and still do it himself? Yeah, I do. So, and that's not a knock at Alec Bohm either. I have said many times that when healthy and mentally all there, Trey Turner's the best player in baseball, and I stand by that. So I feel like he can. When he comes back, I think there's a good chance that Trey will still be that guy, and not Alec Bohm. So
yeah,
it could just be maybe that's like a man crush on Trey. I don't know, but it's.
I don't blame you.
It could be that.
I don't see it.
You don't see it?
Oh.
No, I don't see it.
No, it's not your type.
You got bad taste in men.
I definitely didn't play shortstop or run bases or steal stuff,
Well, we started talking about Bohm, and it looks like the next question is daycare related. So do you want to start it off, Madison?
Sure. Our next question is the daycare getting enough attention with how well they've started this season? I would say yes. I mean, clearly they're off to a great start. The bats are moving, even defensively. I would say they're doing a great job. And I feel like everybody has noticed. I don't know. Zach, what's your take?
I mean, it depends who you put in the daycare. Who's in the daycare right now.
I'm still trying to figure out if there's still a daycare because I still feel like they should have graduated by now.
Right. I think I'm gonna go. Might be kindergarten. There might be a new daycare that we have to.
Is there a new daycare?
Push along.
I mean, Stotties look really good.
Yeah.
We can talk about the OG daycare.
Yeah, I would say Stott, Marsh.
Yeah, Stott, Marsh, Bohm. I would still say, I think Rojas, Pache. It's all just the younger guys. Obviously they're getting a little older now, but not Schwarber, Casty, JT, Harper.
Yeah, no. I would have won with the first three. Honestly, that was my take on it at least.
Yeah,
the first three.
Baseball's better without Rojas in it.
Oh my gosh.
Pache
I like Rojas.
Is not like Rojas.
I'm a believer. I'm a believer in Rojas.
Not like Rojas.
Thank you. Every time we're down or something like that, or someone's doing bad, Nick's like, I don't do it, blah blah blah, and I'm like, don't stop believing, please.
It's always Rojas.
Somehow.
Zach doesn't understand what
really
reverse psychology is.
Yeah, well,
I think he'll be fine. Those drops, he'll be fine. Did we see what Acuna did tonight?
I watched that.
Yeah, I was watching it.
It happened.
It made it all feel better. I felt so
No,
much better.
exactly. I think Rojas is going to be a stellar outfielder. Like his speed and I like he's going to be good. My opinion.
All right, I'm in a lot of pain, but I could do this. I think still. So, yes, his defense is spectacular. Right, I'm not going to ever take that away from him. I will say that every time. I think his speed. I love when he's on base, especially when
Yeah.
we're going into extra innings and you just happen to have the fastest guy on the baseball field on there. But if I have to watch the man hit for 162 games, I just can't do it. I'm sorry. I just can't do it. And that's like for, I mean, I liked Pache better, but you could throw Pache in there too. I can't watch him hit.
Yeah.
It's fair.
I think the team would be better off if we just threw Zach out in center field sometimes. I mean, I
I'm fine
don't
with
even
that.
know anymore. So
I will I'll channel my inner flying Hawaiian, and I'll be golden out there. I'll drop down a bunt like Stubby, and I'll get on base. It's okay.
Perfect.
Yeah, that's all we need, right?
Yeah, I mean,
I see what you're saying for sure.
I understand that he's not on the team to hit. I get it.
Yeah.
He's not on the team to hit.
It's not it.
But it's so hard to watch him have it AB, especially when Marsh has the day off and you have Pache out there, and then you have Rojas, and then you have Edmundo. No offense to Edmundo. I know Zach was giving him some love a little bit earlier, but when you have those three guys to close out the lineup, you're going, okay, well, that's an out, that's an out, and oh, well, look, another out. So that's my take. Or if you throw Stubbs in there too,
Yeah.
it's just more outs, and I don't know.
But I mean, even with in the short sample size of Trey going down, those guys have gotten on base, whether it's a hit or a walk. They've done their job to get on base, and then the bottom of the line, or the top of the lineup has kind of sparked a little bit and drove in some runs. So I don't think there's any shore outs in our lineup anymore because they might get on base anyway. It might just be a walk. They've been seeing the ball and really, the chase rate has dropped. And that's the biggest thing that going into the season we needed.
Yeah.
Maybe you're working too much lately, but it's still not that fun to watch, and it's really hard to see.
I'm having fun.
I'm better off without it. So, yeah, I can talk bad about Rojas for a whole podcast.
Oh,
but,
we know.
let's just. So I'm currently dealing with a lot of pain in my back area, so we're gonna try to jump to upcoming series and then get out of here because I'm in a lot of pain. So, Zach, why don't you start us off, and then we can get out of here.
So off day tomorrow, well needed. There's a lot of stuff going on tomorrow with some players with the Phillies Fantastic auction or whatever it is, right? The Fantastic auction, is that what it is? But Tuesday, the Rangers come into town, and I think that's going to be a big series to kind of test where we are. I know the Rangers aren't exactly where they thought they would be right now, record-wise, but still, the defending world champs, so probably a team that we should have played in the World Series, and a team that we wanted revenge on from opening day last year that we didn't get the chance to. So I think that's going to be a big series where we just beat up on them. And I think this week is probably. So we have them for 3 days, and then the Rockies for 3 days, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Is that it? Okay, so I think that I'd be happy with. I think that's probably a 5-win week.
I would say that.
Yeah, I think the
Rangers
series could be a fun matchup. A lot of action. I think we should definitely win most of the series, win most games. But I think it should be a fun, action-packed series, and the Rockies should be easy.
Yeah.
I think just the first matchup versus the Rangers alone is Suarez versus Gray, and I think it's going to be highly entertaining.
For sure.
Because they're both pitching fantastic. Gray has a 2.8 ERA, and he's playing great. 52 Ks himself. So I think it could be. I mean, it seems like every time we do play somebody's a good pitcher on somebody's team, we still end up doing well. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm still excited to see it. I do think I agree with the 5 and 6 week.
Hmm.
Zach's usually right with these things, which is weird. So um, I'm gonna go with it as well. I do think we are. Um, we're gonna drop a game probably Tuesday. I mean Wednesday versus the Rangers. That's my thought process. Um, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Um, and
Even if Taiwan Walker starts and if he doesn't start, loss either way.
Ooh,
if
good question.
well, I don't know who's gonna pitch. I'm assuming it'd be Turnbull, right?
I would
Oh.
think so.
But it would probably have to be.
If
Yeah.
Turnbull starts and he wins, there's no excuse for Taiwan to be pitching.
Well, the other
Correct.
thing too.
But
So if Walker doesn't go on Wednesday, do they move the rotation up a day and put it
Oh, and
back
piss off
into
Wheeler somewhere.
so I was
Right.
just
Well,
about to
maybe
say
it gets it back on track.
in this article, the NBC article about Taiwan Walker's injury, Thompson was asked about that, asked about skip the spot completely, like moving everyone up, and he said, "I'd rather not. I'd rather be able to give everybody the extra day." And yeah, Wheeler's been a little fussy about that. So
Right.
Well, they do get the day tomorrow, and that's why I was thinking maybe you move the whole rotation up. Wheeler's back in his routine, and all is well in Philadelphia.
yeah, definitely
Could be
could,
an
but
option
I
too.
think
Yeah.
they'd rather not.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. That's not going to happen though.
Yeah,
Sorry, Zach.
no. We're gonna get 3 or 4 innings from Taiwan Walker and be going crazy in our group chat.
I mean,
Hopefully not. Hopefully we get 7 strong. I don't know.
Yeah.
that's not going to happen because he starts to.
I don't see it.
It seems like
Yeah.
as soon as like around the fourth, fifth inning starts, he.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's why I think they should have flipped roles. I think that's why Taiwan should be in the bullpen
Yeah.
because he seems to
Well,
be
like
really good when he comes up
we
to
said
start
it
the game.
earlier too. He's Taiwan Walker's coming off a career high in innings and pitches thrown in a single season. So there's a drop off going to happen, and his arm is not holding up, and it didn't through spring, and he didn't throw all of the postseason, and now we're still seeing this. So I don't. I'm still with the flip flop. I think he should have been in the bullpen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. Versus the Rockies, it should be a sweep. There's no excuse.
Right.
I'll get very upset if we drop a game versus Colorado,
Yeah.
especially at home.
Right.
Yeah.
But now that I said that, we'll probably lose a game with Colorado.
I know. I try to refrain from using the word sweep because I feel like it's an instant jinx every time.
That's why I didn't say 6. I said 5.
True.
I don't care which series we lose one, but we're gonna lose one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't. I'm excited for the Texas series though.
Yeah.
Me too.
It'll be nice to hopefully shut up some critics and we can just move on and not hear that we're playing bad teams and
Easy schedule.
all of that.
Yeah.
Everybody plays everybody.
Yep.
Exactly.
It reminds me of the. I'm going to talk about the Eagles medicine. It reminds me
Hush up my
of.
ears.
It reminds me of the 2022 Eagles, where I had to keep hearing about how they're playing
Oh my
East
God.
teams.
I was saying the same thing earlier today. I'm like, how come every time a Philadelphia sports team does good, all we hear about is that our schedule's bad?
They did it in 2017 too
Ugh.
for the Eagles.
Like
Yeah,
we
they did-
can't
they
help
did it in
it. All we
04
can
as
do
well.
is win, and we're doing that. Like, what do you expect? But in baseball, it's like actually idiotic to say that because everybody plays everybody. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's. I think it's just. I think the media sets it up for Philadelphia as the underdog still. I think they do it almost on purpose, just for they can play Rocky music for their
yeah,
for their stuff.
And make Philadelphians pissed off when they go to the
Yeah.
game.
yeah.
Because that's what they
Something,
want.
I don't know.
Yeah.
That's what they want. They
Yeah.
want Philadelphia to be mad. That's
It's a better
just
place when it's mad.
Yeah.
well. We're gonna wrap up, but thank you for showing up, Shannon.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Of course,
Very fun.
I do think we're gonna have 2 parades on Broad Street this year. One for the Eagles
Knocking
and one
on
for
wood
the
right now.
Phillies. But that's my thought. Probably just and then we're gonna sweep the Cowboys this year too. It's gonna be great, and we're just
You know,
excited
they
about it.
they projected that the Cowboys are going to sweep us already this year.
That's because
Of course
everyone does
they
it.
did. Of course
And
they
it's not
Cowboys
did.
can
even.
do no wrong.
Madison, you're not allowed to participate in the second parade. I'm just
Yeah,
telling you
yeah,
now.
yeah.
No, the second
Oh,
parade has to be a little
I'm
bit more
not going.
crazier, but
Oh, I
I
won't
may have to
be.
go to
Crying
this
in a
one.
ball.
I didn't get to go to the first one.
I didn't either, so I need it, and I need parades while I'm still living in the city. So
So I went to week 1 of 2018 when they raised the banner.
Mm.
It was like something I had to go to. It was like on
mhm.
and fun story. I'm sitting there and I thought I bought seats where I could see the banner across, but I actually ended up being right underneath it,
Oh.
which was just my fault.
Oh.
So it was really windy and it went into like a thunderstorm delay. It was a Thursday night football game and
Oh wow.
they're about to release it. They just had Brian Dawkins on field hyping up everybody. So I'm trying to get a picture and I'm sitting there like this. All of a sudden I'm in the air. Some grown man is holding me in the air and I'm like, why am I in the air right now? so, so I start to freak out because I'm like in the air. And I look over and he's like, I got you. I was like, can you put me down?
Oh my god.
Release me.
That is funny.
Because I don't want you holding me. But all right, Madison, get us out of here.
All right. Like we said last time before, we are strictly on YouTube, so make sure you give us a follow and like our podcast videos. Definitely check out Shannon's pages. I'm gonna have Nick do all her accounts and stuff, so that everyone can
Amazing.
follow
Thank you.
her. Yes, of course, and even your blogs and stuff. So definitely check her out. She's awesome, and we're so thankful you joined us today. Um,
Anytime.
the merch is still up as well. I see Zach's repping it at the moment. I was a little too chilly today to rep
Peeping.
mine, but
Peeping.
definitely check out the stores still. We still have it up. All different varieties of stuff. So make sure you check it out. And yeah, the next podcast will be. Is it next
Next
week?
week. Yep.
Next week? Okay.
Next week. Recording Sunday will be out on Monday, so
Cool.
just like this one will be. So,
Awesome.
all right. Zach, I ask you every podcast, and I know you have nothing to say, but do you have any last words?
Let's go, Phils.
I like it.